Personally, I wouldn't want to do Everyday Struggle with another host. It took way too long to build the chemistry, the rapport that we eventually had. Getting another host, and this is no knock to. I mean, if it is what it is. But it took a long while, man. Like that's like 4 or 5 months of really kind of trying to gel and trying to improve daily. Watching what we did today and the next day trying to do better. So you know what I mean. In 8 months, I think the strides we took. I don't think I've seen a hip hop show, and I'm fans of all of the hip hop shows. I've never seen a show make the impact that we did in that short of a time. So I mean, I'm definitely proud of that. If you wonder about my relationship with Joe, I'm very cool with Joe. I mean, man, we talked today, we talked yesterday. We'll keep talking. You get me? Um, Overall, and Complex knows this. You know what I mean? I would want to do Everyday Struggle with Joe. You get me? I think the chemistry between us is great. But then that's where it gets to a portion that I can't control. I can't control what happens business wise, contractually. I can't control that. Now, I could tell you the truth. I didn't agree with how it was kind of like, my man ain't on no paternity leave. That's not the thing. You get me now? I mean, I guess if things were looking up, trying to cloak it from the fans, because a lot of times, I run with a lot of shit. My man out on a paternity leave, man. It's just real life business. That's just simply what it is. You know what I mean? It's business. You know what I mean? I'm new to all this shit, so um, really, I'm kind of just moving and navigating through. I got like lawyers and shit now, but this is a reality that we live in. I know a lot of people are fans of Everyday Struggle. Um, I hope that you appreciated what it was, but also, I mean, I was a little bit offended by people just really thinking that, and in no shape or form would there be shit. Not me. There would be Complex doing their thing, but anybody planning to do the show without Joe. But everybody was like really just acting like I'm some bum out here. You know what I mean? Like that was the shocking part to me. I don't know where y'all niggas got that sentiment from, and this is where I gotta come on and pop my shit, cause I ain't gonna let y'all just act like I'm just. Listen, let me tell y'all this. This is number one. If you never heard about DJ Akademiks before, Everyday Struggle, you're under a rock. Okay? I've been doing my thing way before I ever linked up with Complex. I'll continue to do my thing while I'm in partnership with them, and I'll continue even afterwards. You get me? Uh, Again, if I was the boss, I had all the chips that I could make the moves. Me, Nadeska, Joe, we rocking. I can't make the moves. You feel me? There ain't no need to blame me. That's some shit higher than me. You know what I mean? Shit, it might get to a point. It might be my turn. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is, listen, I'm just trying to. What's at my feet is just what I got to deal with. You know what I mean? Like, when we're having guests or different guests every day that's filling in for Joe, we have 15 minutes to find some type of medium or rapport and hopefully put on a show for y'all to watch and criticize for the rest of the day. You get me? It's much different than when you've been doing a show with someone for like 8 months. I do believe because I've seen some other people say my audience is loyal. So I don't listen. Complex knows that. That's the reason why we're having the talks we're having now. They put me on screen, we gonna get views. That's just facts. So I've seen a lot of people really misconstrued. You may have been watching for Joe. There's a lot of people watching for me. Okay? And this is not a knock against what Joe contributes, because this is the great thing about the show. I have a huge audience, which is, I would say predominantly, they're very young. But Joe has a huge audience as well that's mature. Um, while we trying to keep the show as it is, and I see people knocking like my contribution, y'all niggas fall back. You know what I mean? Everyday struggle without me or without Joe. That's just what it is. You get me? I'm still hoping that Complex is not completely done with the matter. I'm hoping that Joe still is trying to talk to them. You know what I mean? That's just really where it's at with me. Did Joe give me a heads? Yeah, man, Joe, we've been talking. We've been talking. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, we saw. Listen, this is what I'll tell y'all. Everybody's seen this shit coming. At least if you worked at, well, if you were around and you were in the building, you saw this shit coming. It's just, was it going to be avoided? The last month, I thought it was going to be avoided. I still think it's going to be avoided. You know what I mean? But of course, you know what I mean? Joe went on Twitter. So now Complex is kind of, their hand is forced. They got to put out a statement because they're looking crazy. But do I think they want him there? Yeah. Does he want to be there? Yeah. This is my opinion. Again, I'm speaking for me. I'm pretty sure Joe will definitely go and clarify everything at a later time. I don't know. Probably use his platform, his podcast. But as far as me, currently, I'm still under contract. I'm working out what I could work out. I'm dealing with the chips they gave me. You feel me? So, you know what I mean? If I got to Russell Westbrook it, I'm gonna have to Russell Westbrook it. That's how it is. So, you guys as fans trying to understand, you got to understand a different perspective also where we're coming from. You know what I mean? This is my first like industry thing, period. You know what I mean? I don't really know how to, I'm still learning, like, I'm really being guided by like my lawyer on how to like move, navigate. Like Joe's seen every trick in the book. You know what I mean? So he's moving like a professional chess player. You know what I mean? Like, so he's doing his thing. But I will tell you this. And me and Joe, because we do acknowledge the chemistry exists, I do have a strong belief that whatever platform it is, shit, it could be my goddamn YouTube. Me and him, I'm pretty sure we'll do some stuff in the future. If he doesn't return to everyday struggle. And I know we're seeing reports that he's not, but I'm still saying if, because I haven't gotten word like it's a definite. Okay? They put out a statement, but I haven't gotten word. But I mean, sometimes they do tell me shit late, so I don't know. But just pretty much, you know what I mean? Me and him will definitely do something again. We acknowledge that the chemistry we have is very dope. It's very special. We realize how much we really shifted conversation in the culture, and we really appreciate that. We really appreciate all the support. I mean, again, a lot of depending on what side you fall on, you know what I mean, you might just be a Joe fan. Like you might not see my angle and shit, or you might not see my contribution, or you could be a supporter of mine. You probably don't see what Joe brings to the whole table. But being there, going through all the frustrating times, and realizing how impactful the show is, I understand exactly what we both bring to the table. So I can't force Complex's hand on anything. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much where we're at right now. And I'm hoping something happens before, because I don't know if I'll give you out a quick schedule. Like, tomorrow's my last day of taping until the new year. You get me? And shoot, I got contract stuff to work out then. You get me? So my fate also is kind of in limbo. Do I think it'll get worked out? I don't know. I mean, I'm optimistic. That's all I can say. I'm optimistic. Does it make it more difficult to work something out with me now that the situation that originally I've worked so hard to create is now changed? Absolutely. So that's basically, at least from what I'm seeing. That's my perspective. Now, again, I'm pretty sure Joe will go into the whole thing about stuff that he's been through, and it's not really my business or my place to be like, yo, this happened behind the scenes, this happened. But all I will say is that Complex shouldn't feel blindsided by this. I wasn't blindsided by this. Joe was very, he was very cordial in letting us know that, hey, the clock is ticking. He told us a month ago, my last day is coming soon. So, again, I think for me, I was hoping everything was gonna be avoided, but clearly now it's public. We'll see how the chips is gonna play out, how it's gonna unfold. But as for anyone who is concerned with me, as much as I support Joe, I'm my own man as well. You know what I mean? I'm not no, you know what I mean? You see, Joe, he got his future wife, he got a newborn, and congrats to him. I got my own situation. I'm a grown man too, so I got to make decisions for myself, and we'll see how it lays in the next couple weeks. But all I really want to just tell y'all, like, relax. You know what I mean? Relax. If anything, I want to see what Complex is gonna do. You know what I mean? It's gonna be telling to not only him but me, because that dynamic you can't. Yo, I could keep it 100 with y'all. We've had a lot of guest hosts. You see, Joe is only, and this is the thing. You see, people sometimes unfairly criticize me. Joe has never done that show without me. I've done that show with at least 25 people. Keep that in mind. Every time Joe's been on set, I've been there. So sometimes when people are like, "Yo, whatever," you've never seen, and maybe that criticism is really because of me, because I never really sat out. You know what I mean? I never really said I ain't coming in. You know what I mean? But you've only seen Joe with me. I've done that show with 25 different people, and I will say, with all the people I've done that show with, there's no one even that, like, even if you were thinking about a replacement, something like that, there's not even somebody close. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, there's not, to get that dynamic that we once had, we would have to, the show would be different replacing him, because that dynamic is so different. And it's not only in how he acts, you know what I mean, because he is like a very boisterous motherfucker, but also in his way of thinking, and also like in his knowledge. So, you know what I mean? If this is it for Joe on Everyday Struggle, I mean, I will be vocal in terms of letting them know that, yo, we do have to give him a proper goodbye. I think you can't just fucking switch out a nigga and give him like a 30-second, like, oh yeah, Joe ain't here no more, this is our new guest. Nah, I can't work. It has to be somewhere where you at least acknowledge homie's contribution. Like, I'm telling y'all, when I was there, because I was green as a motherfucker, I was real awkward. I probably still am awkward on camera, but I'm probably definitely less awkward now than when I first got there. A lot of the show being crafted to what it is, that show would have been 15 minutes if Joe didn't say, nah, let's do an hour. I'm telling you, that was there. That's facts. Like, I was there. The show was meant to be a 15-minute show. Joe looked at him and said, nah, we need to do an hour every day. That became the thing. And the first time we did an hour, the fans ain't wanted less than an hour. You get me? So that's what I'm saying in terms of contribution. So that's the reason why that statement kind of rubbed me a little wrong. It was a little dry. You can't let somebody like really build the house, and then as soon as somebody about to cut the ribbon, you just kick the nigga who built the house out and be like, all right, my nigga, peace out. I was there. I witnessed it. You feel me? We wouldn't be airing at 11 a.m. Low key, we were about to shoot the show at like 2 p.m. every day. Y'all would have got that shit at like 5 or 6. Nah, Joe said, nah, we wanna come out when all the morning shows coming out. That's where we at. That's how we coming. That's how we bumming out here. That's a good decision. You get me? Ain't nobody else had the foresight with that. I remember when I auditioned. It wasn't an audition, but we just kind of like had like a little test, like little debate joint. 5 minutes into it, and that's what I'm saying. You gotta give a nigga credit. You gotta give a nigga credit for spotting that shit. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. I don't like that dry shit, especially when. And I mean, I could say things on my behalf, but I'm speaking on his behalf right now, because I appreciate when niggas come in and we shape some shit. You know what I mean? Love corporate and everything. All respect to them, but y'all gotta realize this show is crafted by niggas being really in them rooms. You feel me? Shit, I remember when initially Deska was gonna be the moderator. We're gonna have another moderator, and said, nah, she got to be the moderator. That was Joe. That's facts. Ain't nothing to say about that. You get me? So, pretty much the original, from what the show was really like even theorized to be, to what it ended up being, a lot of that was Joe. So if that was a goodbye joint, them statements are a little bit too dry, man. We gotta, and I know, like, you know what I mean. We we did briefly mention it on, like, well, I said something today on Everyday Show about Joe. That shit got edited out. I mean, I guess it is what it is, because I'm not trying to incite the situation more, but as somebody who I worked with for months, and y'all know, me and Joe, we've gone there. Like, it's been really up and down. I ain't into that dry shit, man. I ain't into that, like, all right, man, yo, good looks on 2017, but we in 2018. Nah, nigga. So I'm hoping, we get a little bit more than that. Shit, we should at least got a goodbye episode. That's just me. But again, you know what I mean? That I'm speaking as an individual who has worked every day with Joe. You feel me? I'm not speaking as corporate who probably looking on Twitter to see Joe, like, going off and probably say, man, we gotta just let it be known he not here. You get me? So I'm just speaking as a human. But I will tell y'all, in terms of the show being what it is, Joe was very influential, and something that, even if, say, I continue the show without him, that's something you always got to appreciate. You can't just gloss over that shit.